5. A proper goodbye. I had just gotten out of the shower and was getting dressed when I heard Sharon Jean come home from work. "Boo," she said as she passed by my room on the way to the bathroom. "Boo right back," I said. "Guess what?" She backed up and stood in the doorway. "What?" "Josh just proposed." "Are you kidding me?" She came in and sat on the bed. "I didn't know he had it in him. What did you say?" I held out my hand and let her take a look at the ring. "Not bad." She looked closer, trying to find the diamond. "Congratulations, I guess. I thought you two would wait until his enlistment was up." "Really? Marriage never crossed my mind. Not seriously, anyway. He took me by surprise." "It was one of those things I figured I'd worry about after college. I thought Josh felt the same way until he got down on one knee in the Food Lion." "Why didn't he wait until dinner tonight to pop the question?" she asked. "That's what a normal person would have done." "He didn't think it through. I had smelled alcohol on his breath. He'd had to get his nerve up and strike while the iron was hot. You'd better get ready. He's picking us up at 6. You sure you want me to come? This is kind of a special night." "Josh isn't much of a talker, and neither am I. If there's going to be any conversation, it's going to have to come from somewhere else." "You're a strange child," she said as she often did. "Takes one to know one," I replied as usual. I was ready to go when Josh's truck pulled up a bit later. Sharon Jean was still applying some finishing touches to her makeup. I met Josh on the porch and led him to the porch swing. We sat and waited for Sharon Jean. "Are you scared?" I asked. "Of the army or getting married? Either. They're both pretty big." "No," he smiled. "Either one'll be a piece of cake compared to proposing." My heart was pounding so bad I thought it was going to bust right out of my chest. It was a strange but good feeling to know I could have that kind of effect on a guy. I was an ugly duckling not that long ago. Sharon Jean came outside, dressed more modestly than usual. We piled into the truck. "Where are we going?" Josh asked. "Waffle House?" Sharon Jean snorted. That's where she worked. "I'll beat you black and blue if you take me there. Texas Roadhouse." "You're buying me a steak, soldier boy." So Texas Roadhouse it was. We had a good dinner and dessert. I had a chicken Caesar salad. Josh and Sharon Jean had steaks. Sharon Jean also had a margarita because she's 21 and can legally drink in Pikeville. We finished with apple pie topped with ice cream and coffee. "Have you guys set a date?" Sharon Jean asked. "Let's see if I survive boot camp first," Josh said. He was joking. He's in good shape. He'd cope pretty well with whatever basic training would throw at him. He looked at me for input. "We can wait until you get out," I said. "We know where we're headed. It doesn't have to be on a timetable." He smiled and nodded. When we got back home, Sharon Jean said, "Josh, could you wait outside for a minute? I need to talk to my sister." Sure, he sat on the porch swing. Sharon Jean opened the door and turned on the living room lights. I followed her into the kitchen out of Josh's earshot. "Josh Atkins is a good guy," she said. "Yes, he is. He is head over heels in love with you. Do you love him?" "Well, yeah, sure. He deserves a proper goodbye." "What do you mean?" "Oh, come on. You're supposed to be the smart one." She looked exasperated with me. "Don't do anything you're not comfortable with. I have protection if you need it." Then I got her point. I nodded. I went out to the porch swing and sat next to Josh. I took his hand and kissed him. We made out for a little while and I said, "You probably want to have sex. I'm not ready for that." "Okay," he said. He sounded a little disappointed, but would always and forever be a gentleman. "But would you like to spend the night?" "Yeah," he said. "I think I would." He took out his phone and called his mom to tell her he wouldn't be coming home. I took him by the hand and led him inside, up the stairs, and to my bed. We laid down fully clothed, my back against his chest. We nestled like that until we fell asleep. When we got up the next day, Sharon Jean had already left for her shift at Waffle House. I started a pot of coffee and made some bacon and eggs. We were quiet. Neither of us was in the mood for conversation. "Still thinking about a major?" he finally asked as we sipped coffee on the porch swing. "Yeah." I liked school and got good grades, but there wasn't a subject I was especially passionate about. "I'll figure it out." We watched some TV. Sharon Jean came home after work and headed upstairs, leaving us alone. Josh left around 4 in the afternoon to have one last dinner with his folks and to finish packing. He returned in time for Wheel of Fortune, setting his suitcase by the door. He had to catch the bus at 9:30 the next morning. We had 14 and a half hours to say goodbye. The following day, Josh took a shower while I made breakfast for the three of us. When he got to the table, he pulled out the keys to his truck and jingled them. "What?" I asked. "My truck. Our truck. It won't do me any good at boot camp. You need it worse than I do." That made me smile. He was a thoughtful guy. We took our truck to the bus station, Josh, Sharon, and I. When we got there, people were already boarding the Greyhound. Josh's folks were there, as was his cousin Darlene. He hugged them all, said a few words, and then came over to me and Sharon Jean. "You be good, soldier boy," Sharon Jean said when she put her arms around him, "and stay safe." She kissed him on the cheek. "I will," he said. He came over and hugged me. It was a long hug, and a good one. We kissed, and he hugged me again. The bus driver called down, "Sorry, son, but it's time to go." Josh looked me in the eyes one last time and let me go. He went up the steps to find a seat. The door closed and the bus pulled away. I don't know what came over me. Tears formed in my eyes, first a trickle, then a flood. I didn't understand it. I couldn't remember the last time I cried, and I had never cried like this. I covered my eyes in embarrassment. "Isn't that the most pitiful thing you've ever seen?" I heard Darlene ask Sharon Jean. "I think it just may be," Sharon Jean said. She sighed. "It must be love. If this was love, it sucked."